For a long time, I believed feeling rich was something that would arrive one day, like a destination marked by a number in my bank account. I thought wealth was a finish line, and until I crossed it, I would always feel behind, lacking, incomplete. I worked hard, dreamed big, and compared myself endlessly, yet no matter what I earned or achieved, the feeling never came. I wasn't poor, but I didn't feel rich either. That quiet dissatisfaction followed me everywhere, and it took years to understand why. The real reason I didn't feel rich had nothing to do with money. It started with comparison. Every time I made progress, I looked sideways instead of forward. Someone always had more, earned faster, lived better, traveled farther. Social media made it worse, turning other people's highlights into my measuring stick. I didn't see their struggles, only their wins, and I used those wins to invalidate my own. No matter how far I came, comparison made it feel like I was standing still. Then there was impatience. I wanted results immediately. I wanted success to arrive quickly, loudly, and visibly. I ignored how much time growth actually takes. I dismissed slow progress as failure, not realizing that real wealth is built quietly, consistently, and over years, not weeks. Impatience robbed me of satisfaction and made every step feel insufficient. Another truth hit hard. I was chasing symbols, not substance. I thought feeling rich meant expensive things, recognition, and approval. I tied my self-worth to outcomes instead of effort. When results didn't match expectations, I felt empty, even if I was doing better than I ever had before. I didn't realize that wealth without inner alignment feels hollow, no matter how impressive it looks from the outside. I also underestimated mindset. I carried a scarcity mentality, even when opportunities were present. I worried constantly about losing what I had instead of appreciating it. Fear made me defensive, hesitant, and anxious. A rich life cannot grow in a fearful mind. If you believe there's never enough, nothing will ever feel enough. The turning point came when I stopped asking, why don't I have more? And started asking, why do I feel behind even when I'm moving forward? That question changed everything. It forced me to look inward instead of outward. I realized I had never defined what rich actually meant to me. I borrowed society's definition without questioning it. Was it freedom, time, peace, security, growth, purpose? Once I started answering honestly, my priorities shifted. I noticed areas of my life where I was already rich but had never acknowledged it. Health, skills, knowledge, relationships, the ability to learn, adapt, and try again. These things didn't show up on a balance sheet, but they shaped my future far more than money alone. I learned that feeling rich is deeply connected to progress awareness. When you forget where you started, every step forward feels small. I began documenting my journey, not just achievements, but growth. Things I could handle now that once overwhelmed me. Problems I solved that once scared me. Decisions I made with confidence instead of fear. Seeing progress made me realize I was building something real, even if it wasn't flashy yet. Another shift happened when I stopped postponing happiness. I had been telling myself, I'll feel good when I earn more, I'll relax when I reach that level, I'll enjoy life later. Later never came. Wealth isn't just about accumulation. It's about the ability to enjoy the present while building the future. If you can't feel rich now, you won't feel rich later either. I also learned that many people don't feel rich because they confuse income with identity. Money is a tool, not a measure of worth. When your identity depends on external validation, you're always one loss away from feeling empty. When your identity is rooted in values, discipline, and self-respect, money becomes a bonus, not a requirement for confidence. Delayed gratification played a role too. Building something meaningful often requires sacrificing short-term comfort. When you're in that phase, it's easy to feel deprived instead of invested. But sacrifice isn't poverty when it's intentional. It's strategy. The problem is when you interpret sacrifice as failure instead of commitment. I started reframing my situation. Instead of saying, I'm not rich yet, I said, I'm in the building phase. That simple shift reduced pressure and increased patience. Builders don't rush foundations. They understand that what's invisible matters most. Another reason people don't feel rich is because they ignore internal wealth, emotional stability. mental clarity, self-control. These are assets. Without them, money amplifies chaos. With them, even modest resources create peace. I worked on strengthening my mind, reducing unnecessary desires, and aligning spending with values. Less clutter in my life made space for gratitude. Gratitude wasn't about pretending everything was perfect. It was about recognizing progress without denying ambition. You can want more without hating where you are. That balance is powerful. It keeps you hungry but not bitter. I also stopped consuming content that made me feel inadequate. Constant exposure to unrealistic success stories distorted my sense of timing. I replaced it with learning, skill building, and real conversations. Perspective returned. I realize most people who look rich are still figuring things out, just like everyone else. Feeling rich, I discovered, is less about possession and more about direction. When you know where you're going and trust yourself to get there, anxiety fades. Confidence grows. You stop chasing validation and start building value. The real reason you don't feel rich yet might be that you're measuring your life with the wrong ruler. You might be ignoring growth because it doesn't look glamorous. You might be waiting for permission to feel proud. You might be postponing peace for a future that doesn't exist yet. Wealth begins internally. When your mind feels abundant, opportunities expand. When your habits align with your goals, progress accelerates. When you stop rushing the process, you start enjoying the journey. One day, you'll look back and realize this phase wasn't lack. It was preparation. And the moment you understand that, you won't just be on your way to becoming rich. You'll already feel it.